internet, what is really, really, really good? You know what it is. It's the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And of course, I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And yo, Kamen Rider X8 episode number 2. And yo, before we get into the business of the actual episode, I just want to rap with y'all a minute. Just fuck with your boy. Just fuck with your boy on this one, please. In context, Excite as a song works. It does. Excite as a song, out of context, it was a head bobber. In context, given the rider show we're talking about, the intro that goes with the song we're talking about, it works. It really, really works. I'm sitting up here like, yo, exercise, or whatever the fuck they talking about. Like, I'm bobbing my head to this show. Like, yo, straight up, this shit is hot as fuck. Like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this off Japanese iTunes, like, when this come out with, like, some yen or something. Like, yo, this shit, that head bobble. Because, I'm gonna be honest, though. If you allow me to speak freely, well, I'm going to allow myself to do so, I remember when I heard Ghost theme for the first time. And I remember making this joke, and I think I did in the review of Kamen Rider Ghost, was, you could have told me that would have been the first thing to insert shonen anime here, and I would have fucking believed you and not batted an eyelash. Because of the show that Ghost was, and the story they were trying to tell, and the characters and things, that was a song that worked for the show. And Excite is the same thing for Kamen Rider X8 because of the premise, because it's a show about throwback games and a show that's trying to be a very upbeat, like fast-paced medical drama. It's like a song like that for a medical drama in Japan. That's like some pop song like that. That's part for the chorus. So it makes sense as a song, and the lyrics have like underlying meaning and things like that, and it just makes sense. It's like, I gotta say, I'm gonna say this live before we get into it. I don't know whether it was the choice of font that Excite Sub decided to use, or if it was just me just feeling nostalgic, or me just, like I said, just feeling like extra throwback. I swear, dog, I had like a Kabuto moment. But I will say this live. There are very few Rider songs that are next level. So, like, next level is my shit. Like, you will catch me, like, randomly, like, listening to, like, anytime I just need a random song to listen to, I put on next level, because that's my shit. I can't sing that because Toei tried to sue my ass into fucking oblivion. We not even gonna do that. But Excite, it's a cool song. I just wanted to take a couple minutes to just say my piece on the theme song, so we don't have to ever talk about it again, unless we have a Go Busters moment where they decide to change the theme or whatever. And I hope not. You know what? I don't believe I just fucking thought about Morphin, Moving, Believing, Buster Ship. Lord God. The first theme song was better. No. Look. Kamen Rider X8 episode 2. Really quickly, I will say this. The show needs a character like Hero to work. You might be thinking, like, what the fuck is Triple talking about? Fuck with your boy, though. When you have a character like Emu, who has, like, I want to say an alternate persona, when he is M, when he puts on the rider driver and puts that gas shot in and it's time to go to work, he's not always going to be that character that when it's time to go to work, he's not always going to be that character. He's a lighthearted character until it's time to do work. You need a character who is stone cold asshole 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because a thing that I'm going to talk about a little bit and will be for these early episodes, I feel, are the dynamics in play. And one of the big dynamics that are in play right now, especially because we're talking about an ensemble cast and a whole bunch of things going on because it's a show that is trying to emulate a medical drama, are the dynamics all over the place. And we got to sit front row and center for a dynamic that, as a fan of Rider, and if you watch it long enough, you know that the dynamic between Hero and Emu will evolve. These are characters that'll rub off on each other. Straight up. These are characters that you know are rub off each other. You've seen the Sentai shows, you've seen the Rider shows where you see characters and you know when they first meet they beefing like a motherfucker. But you know that by the end of the show that a little bit of what he was is gonna rub off on this other character and vice versa. I see an episode with Hero in the future acting a complete fucking clown because a character like that needs a little bit of something that makes him unique in a way that would allow you to believe that he got that he got an other side to him. Like straight up, it's like the dynamic between Hero and Emu needs Hero to be a stone cold asshole. And I'm going to say this live, and y'all to fuck with me on this. When them two bitches got out the car, and then Hero got out the car, I'm like, oh shit, it's Gary Oak, dog. Like, yo, like it's Palatine over again in this motherfucker. I'm like, oh my god, dog. I paused the video. I start laughing so hard, like, yo, this nigga think he Gary Oak, be swear to God. I'm like, no, no, can't even fucking laugh so hard, couldn't even do it. He like, it's time to operate. He like, bitches, get over here. That's not what actually happened, but that is how I visualize that in my head. But again, like I said, the dynamics that this show is trying to present, because I'll say this. I don't really think that a show that just would have been Emu and Asuna and Pippi as our alternate alter ego would have been a dynamic. That'll be a dynamic that, as much as I think Asuna's a cutie, but I just really think that dynamic between Emu and Asuna, that's not something that could work for a whole season, because that is something that I know if that was just the only dynamic in play, that is something that would probably irk at me, but probably just bear on the line of getting on my fucking nerves if I just had to watch only that. But again, like I said, the thing and the word of the day in this review is the word dynamics. Because again, in the middle of that first fight, Gam jump out. What's up, motherfuckers? Dump it. Like for no reason. He in this corner, Mighty Action X, pop, 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 okay? Like, we saw a bit of that in the Ghost crossover joint, but I don't think, because I want to say this, I don't think finding out who Gim is going to be the turn I don't think this show is going to take. Because again, because we are talking about a show that is trying to build a world of dynamics all over the place, because we saw a lot of that in play. Homeboy who used to be a doctor in the CR throwing money at the game creator dude like, yo, give me one of them rider drivers, cuz I'm making it rain in this bitch, swear to God, on my mom and stuff like that. We need to keep this a secret. We need to do this. We need to do that. This is a show that, because of all the dynamics that are being built, it does not have the way of anything, of no give, of not being able to answer these questions before it takes a turn. Because at some point, the show's got to take a turn, because when everybody gets on the same side or whatever's going to happen, the heroes are going to need a focal point. And that's when all of the world building and the dynamics will stop in their wake, and then the dynamics will focus into one thing, so the writers have something to concentrate on. Because if the story does anything other than that, then towards the end of the XA, giving the writer something to focus on, and it's still all these dynamics in play that don't need to be there, is going to bog the show down. So like I said, all these dynamics being built because we are talking about a show that is doing a medical drama with an ensemble cast. You need to build these dynamics early between these characters so that you have that in place. So when it's time for that turn and that focal point and that final mad dash toward the end to get to the point of this whole thing, is that they gonna need a focal point. And I just hope that that's something that the show that can deliver on in 2 episodes in, is that I really think that this is a show that can deliver. Like I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again, and as long as the show keeps proving to me that it can do it, this is a show that's going to be one of those shows, like I said, that I'm trying to get in the rider. Like, what show should I watch? X8. I want, as a fan, I want to be able to turn to people and they ask me like, yo, I'm trying to get into something recent, Ryder. Do you have a suggestion? I want to say XA because I'm a believer this early on. It's like, even when I talked about Ghost, I wasn't a heavy believer in Ghost like early on. And you guys know how I feel about that. XA, yo, I got some hope for this. I'm like, the last time I had like some real outlook on some shit, Wizard happened to the streets. And the less we talk about Rinko, the better. The less, you know what? I'm not even finna get into that. I'm like, we could have a Rinko conversation till I'm blue in the fucking face. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear that at all. So, other thoughts before we get up out of here? I'm feeling the Gashicon sword. I wonder if they're like alternate form because, because Brave did freeze. So, I want to see if it's like a fire version or something like that. Because I think the normal Gashicon break, I think, is fire element. So, I do wonder what the fuck Tattle Quest is. Like, we heard it's an RPG, but I wonder if that gonna be playable and Rider and like as a downloadable like Mighty Action X is going to be when Rider Revolution drop. So I do really wonder if like the more games we see, the more possible these games will be downloadable on 3DS or something. So it should be interesting to see. And I just had a random thought of playing Motocross Maniacs on Game Boy because that game is the fucking shit. And you ain't played that, you should. I don't know why I just thought about that game, but I just needed to vocalize. That's where my head was. But yo, like I said, this is a show about dynamics. This is a show that is doing a wonderful job early on, building up its mystery, its intrigue, and suspense, while it's trying to build these world full of characters. Because when we get done, you're going to have a lot of characters to keep up with. And you going to have to, and the show is going to have to do something to make you give a fuck about all these people you're supposed to be concentrating on. And I really think if they build it right, they write it right, and build the dynamics in the world around it and surround it correctly, this is probably a cast you will get, you will love and you will miss. Like I missed the Drive cast. Like, that was a cast that was an ensemble cast I really got behind. I fell in love with those characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know my shit is Double and always will be. That's my shit. You know what I'm saying? I fell in love with Double. Like, I love the Forza students. I love them. I grew with that cast and love that cast. And again, because of my excite, because hell yeah, I'm gonna drive that into the fucking ground. Because of my excitement and for what this show has done for me in 2 episodes, I want to give this show a legitimate chance to be what it's going to be. And I really think that I'm not like small stepping and not, sitting up here and giving this show too much credit. But I really think that this is a show that can go the limit. And and as long as, like I said earlier, as long as it's a show that can prove that it continue to go, that can take it to the limit all the way to the finish line and be a great show, to sit up there with the doubles, the Forzas, the Gons, hell, the Drives up there, because I suggest somebody watch Drive as an opening rider show, because it gets a little faulty in place, but it's a great show. I want to be able to say, yo, watch that XA, dog. That's that shit right there. Do that. But that's it. That's all. I have nothing else to say. We'll be back next week when the next time a episode of this show comes out, subbed by a group who subs it, and we will talk about it, because this is what I'm getting into now. And for the 0 people that actually care about the big stuff that I used to do, there's a reason why I've been doing these little easy things for now. And once I get all that shit together, we'll sit down, man. I had a family through, and we will sit and we will discuss it, because we will discuss it. But until that point comes, who am I? Wait a minute, let me check. Oh, I'm the one and the only, the G.O.D. And of course, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And with that, I'll see you next game.